But her friends were like, no. Talk to the father of her child. He's been demanding she get an abortion and threatening to take care of it himself if she didn't. They're like, great. Who's that? Hold on to your fucking hats, detectives. I'm gonna start with happy fall.
I know it's very nice out.
5 degrees here in Western North Carolina. It is
fantastic.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm gonna start with my wig. I'm just testing it out. I'm cold capping. I might not lose my hair, but I got one.
It's chic. I love it.
Well, it's just straight and brown, but a lot thicker than my OG hair.
Rebecca and I went wig shopping when I went down there, and we got 2. One looks the most like her hair, the one she's wearing now. Yeah. If you're on YouTube, everyone runs to YouTube. We'll post a little something on our Instagram too. That looks most like you. And then we got like a fun one. It's longer. It has little not wispy bangs. It has curtain bangs.
I need to cut them more, I think.
Yeah. I love it. So I think you're looking good. You're great. Brows are on fleek.
On point. Is on fleek a thing? Whatever. Space cadet over here.
Foggy brain during chemo treatments is a thing, apparently. I think you sound
bear
great.
with me.
Bear with ya. I'm going to jump into it because, hey, it's Rachel here. Thank y'all so much for joining. I'm going to jump into it because when I tell you, I cannot believe this story. There are a few bomb drops. The last one being like my very last sentence, maybe second to last sentence. I'm not stick to it because something new has come out. And I think you added this a year or 2 ago. I can't believe you didn't call dibs on it because I know you do not know all this information. But again, the latest bomb drop is as of June this year.
Oh, okay. Then,
so,
yeah.
I was
excited.
Just shocked by this. Okay. Well, I'm just going to get into it because I'm not totally sure what I'm calling it yet, but whatever.
Okay. I'm fine with it. Let's roll.
Sources. A ton of articles from the Boston Globe. Wow. Great job.
Good job, Boston Globe.
An FBI affidavit, LA Magazine, CrimeTimelines.com, and the Stoughton Journal. Matthew and William Farwell, which every time I see it, I say in my head farewell because it's spelled like that pretty much. Yeah. Minus an E. So if I do that by accident, sorry. Farwell. Okay. They're twin brothers born in October 1985 and grew up in Stoughton, Massachusetts, which is like 20 miles outside of Boston. It's less than 10 minutes from Canton, Massachusetts, which you all know is home to Karen Reed, John O'Keefe, that whole thing.
That Sunday scary.
I know. Matthew and William were inseparable, best of friends. Growing up, they had a hard time in school, though. They were constantly in the principal's office, just kind of, troublemakers.
They must have had the same class. Yeah.
They're brave. They get brave together. They really needed some structure. So in 1998, when they were 12 years old, their parents signed them up for the Stoughton Police Explorers Program.
Fine.
The Explorers Program was originally created by the Boy Scouts of America. It's a mentor program for kids who are interested in police work, like an after-school program led by officers to teach about policing. It provided structure, discipline, and in addition to learning about police work, like volunteer officers would help with homework, stuff like that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
It seems like a good
program.
Some called it like the Youth Police Academy because they would show them, what they learned.
Yeah.
Just stuff.
Cute.
The program was run by Deputy Chief for Stoughton Police Department, Robert Devine, and under his mentorship, Matthew and William both did really well, and they became very interested in becoming police officers.
Nice.
After high school, Matthew served 4 years in the Army and was deployed to Afghanistan for 6 months before returning to Massachusetts in 2008. William he joined the Army Reserves. I just don't have as much info on that as far as timeline, but he did.
All right.
But after Matthew got back in 2008 to Massachusetts, he went to the police academy and worked as a patrol officer for the Wesley Police Department until 2012 when he joined the Stoughton Police Department.
Okay.
The following year, 27-year-old Matthew married his girlfriend, Michelle. They'd go on to have 3 kids. And it was around this time that Matthew and William's mentor from the Explorer program, Robert Devine, was promoted to deputy chief, and he was still running the program. So he encouraged Matthew to become a volunteer instructor there, which he said, sure, glad to do it. And eventually,
full circle moment.
Full circle, that's what I say. Eventually, William would also join the Stoughton Police Department and become a volunteer instructor too. So again, full circle moment, the program that helped shape them and give them direction. Now they can do it for other kids, and like their same mentor is still there running it. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I just thought you would like this. This has nothing to do with anything, but among some of the demonstrations Matthew was in charge for the Explorer program, Canine demonstration.
Oh my God. That'd be so badass. I go straight to German Shepherd, not canine. Like, other dogs can be canines.
No, but canine demonstration. Canine demonstration. It's badass. Go get them, boy.
Go get them. Oh, what
Give
a
them
good boy.
The kill word or whatever.
One of Ani's brothers was in the canine, and
the canine like unit. I mean, any dog's a canine.
I mean, yeah, canine unit was in the canine.
Yeah.
And it's going to be boring. Never mind. I was just saying his command, that's all Barrett remembers. His command was intimidate, and he would stare at the crotch and growl with those big teeth.
Wait, you think that's boring? That's I love that. Yeah. There it is.
There it is.
Keep it. Maybe that was one of the demonstrations.
Maybe.
Hope so. One of the kids they mentored in this program was 14-year-old Sandra Birchmore. Sandra had been in the program since she was 12 years old, and it was a great fit for her, a good escape from her not so great childhood.
Right.
She was born in 1997 in Stoughton. She was the only child to Denise Birchmore, who sadly was widowed in 1995 at only 31 years old. Her husband, Warren Birchmore, was hit by a truck while crossing the street in Boston in 1995. Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
So 2 years later, Denise got pregnant and gave birth to Sandra, but Sandra's dad was never in the picture. He's not even on the birth certificate. So Denise gave Sandra her late husband's last name, Birchmore.
Okay.
So that's why they're Birchmore. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Denise had a ton of health issues. I couldn't find exactly what she had. Everything just said chronic illnesses, but relatives said they don't remember a day when she was not sick. Awful. Because of this, she couldn't work, so money was really tight, and Sandra grew up with a lot of responsibilities. She kept track of Denise's medications, doctor's appointments, stuff like that. She really couldn't be a kid.
Right.
They lived in an apartment in Stoughton, and Denise's aunt and uncle named Claire and Gerald lived nearby, so they helped a lot. Their house was a second home. Sandra looked to Claire as a grandmother, even though she's actually her great aunt. But it was said that Claire and Sandra were best friends.
Oh.
Sandra was really feisty growing up. When someone tried to call her Sandy, she would bite their head off and say, "It's Sandra."
Good for you.
Get it, girl.
Does she have an accent? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
She likely had to be a little feisty, though, because she was also bullied. I guess Denise smoked a lot in the house. So Sandra would go to school reeking of cigarettes, and kids made fun of her all the time for it. Girls called at one point threatening to beat her up. Like
God.
She would visit the nurse at school sometimes up to 3 times a day, just trying to go home.
Sad. God, that is horrible.
I know. Her guidance counselor
Kids are such assholes.
Oh, I know. Her guidance counselor said that she tried giving her the tools to make friends and keep friends, but even so, she just always needed a little extra support than other students.
Yeah.
One of her friends said it just seemed like nothing was easy for her. Just nothing was ever easy.
Yeah, I agree. Seems like nothing's easy.
Yeah. She also became, as the Boston Globe put it, a handful. In 2006, when Sandra was 9, Denise signed them up for the Strengthening Families program, which is a 14-week workshop for parents and kids to learn better coping and communication skills. The Stoughton Journal wrote a newspaper article about the program, and Denise and Sandra were both quoted. Denise said, quote, "I like the fact that they showed you what your tools are. For example, instead of yelling at your child, sit down and talk it out." Sandra said she likes that the kids got to play
Easier
games.
said than done, my friend.
Oh, I know, right? So you don't off the bat scream at them. You don't pop off immediately. Word. Sandra said that she liked that the kids got to play games and put on puppet shows while learning new skills. And then she said, quote, "It was really fun. And on the last day, we got a certificate."
Oh, that's okay. Cute. How old is she?
She was 9 when they did that program.
Okay. I'm smiling.
Okay. Don't get used to it.
I'm not.
The Strengthening Families program was sponsored by a coalition that was co-founded by Deputy Chief Robert Devine, which is how they learned about the Police Explorers program. As a kid, Sandra really wanted to become a cop. She loved cops, always respected them. She's really interested in that field. So she was amped on this program. And in 2010, when she was 12, Denise signed her up.
Yeah.
Sandra thrived in the program. She stuck with it pretty much throughout high school. She was always the first one there and one of the last ones to leave. She always helped the new kids in the program. Eventually, she took on leadership roles within the program.
Wow.
I'm saying the program like it's a cult, but I don't mean to.
Wow. What can you do?
Don't want to
You're not going to
keep saying Explorers program.
Right.
Whatever. Denise even wrote a letter to Chief Deputy Devine and the other volunteers thanking them for how much it has helped Sandra.
That's nice.
I hate these random texts prompting you with questions. Like, I don't get the scam.
What?
Like, do you not ever get texts? Me and Payne get them. It's like I just got one. How's the weather over there? Is it good or bad? It's some scam. I don't know. They want to start a conversation and then I guess get you to Venmo them $700,000, which I did.
So do it.
You don't make that I'm not doing that again.
You don't make that mistake 3 times. Hell no. Fuck that. Oh, that felt good.
Should we keep it? God,
it's
why not? Lord, y'all, we're gonna be casual up in here. And if you don't like it, please don't review.
If you do like it, hit us up that 5-star.
Anyway.
I may have had to smoke a little bit.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. This is what we're talking about.
I'm trying new routines to see what subsides nausea and all that. So I'm rolling with it. But right now I'm feeling great.
Oh my God.
Didn't you hear my hilarious joke just then?
My hilarity? Good. Get baked. You're going to need it after this.
Oh God. Now I got to work on my story.
I know it. I don't even know where the fuck I left off. In June 2015, Sandra graduated from high school and joined the Army Reserve, knowing that military experience can help with becoming a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
But when they learned she had asthma, which she did not disclose, she was kicked out after a couple months. But she's down, not out. She moved back home and enrolled at a local community college where she studied criminal justice. She also started dating a guy named William Kilroy. So she was fine, resilient. Army Reserve didn't work out. Plan B, not a problem.
Right.
A few months later, though, in May 2016, tragedy struck. Her mom, Denise, had a stroke and was rushed to the hospital where only 2 weeks later, she died at 52 years old.
Damn.
It was only 5 days after Sandra's 19th birthday.
Oh.
As she planned her mom's funeral, her great aunt Claire's health started drastically declining.
Fuck.
Remember, that's her best friend.
Yeah.
So only a month after Denise's death, in June 2016, Claire died.
God, it really is never easy for poor Sandra.
Oh my gosh, I know. The 2 women closest to her died within a month of each other, and she took it very hard.
Yeah.
She was really depressed, and they later found her journal entries from this time that expressed suicidal thoughts. Her boyfriend, William, said she started drinking way too much. She was just in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But she powered through, and in 2018, she graduated with an associate's degree in criminal justice. Sorry.
Girl.
I know. The following year, in 2019, she moved back into her family home with her Aunt Alice, and started studying criminal justice at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, to get her bachelor's degree. But she ended up taking a leave of absence after a car accident and just didn't go back. So she was only enrolled for a couple months. That fall, her Aunt Alice sadly died of cancer. And her, I know, it honestly, it's a tough
one thing after
couple of years for her.
Mm-hmm.
After that, her Aunt Darlene, who owned their house that they lived in, told Sandra that she planned on selling it, and Sandra needed to move out ASAP. So,
what's this bitch's name?
Darlene.
Fuck Aunt you, Darlene.
No, I mean, maybe she can't keep up with it either. And now
I know that I jumped to conclusions, but I'm like, God, this girl needs a break. Please don't kick her out.
I know. So this led to a huge fight, and Sandra stormed out of the house, and Aunt Darlene was so worried that she was going to hurt herself that she called 911. Police tracked Sandra down and admitted her to the hospital, but they determined she wasn't a risk to self-harm, so they released her. Sandra was ever determined to become a police officer, so she started doing ride-alongs with some of the police officers in a nearby town. But they didn't think she was a great fit. I think the town's Braintree. Just if you're a Massachusettsian...
Nailed it.
Nailed it. That's what it was. They didn't think she was a great fit. One officer said she used the ride-alongs more like gossip sessions and not an opportunity to gain experience. I guess she was pretty personal with them. She overshared a lot, I read. They said it seems like she wanted someone to talk to. It wasn't really like a career move.
Yeah.
She'd always dreamed of being a cop, but it was really not panning out. Like it's thing after thing.
Right.
And she was ready for a stable career. So she started taking courses for nursing school and got a job as a teacher's aide at an elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
She also moved into a new apartment in Canton after Aunt Darlene gave her the boot.
Yeah.
On Monday, February 1st, 2021, there was a huge snowstorm. So the school was closed where she worked. It closed early. She went to school. They closed, I think, at noon. And it remained closed until Thursday, February 4th. Throughout the week, friends and coworkers are texting Sandra, but she doesn't answer, which is very unusual. She was said to be on her phone 24/7.
Yeah.
When a few days went by without someone talking to her, the property manager called her, but it went straight to voicemail. Again, her phone dying is very unusual.
Yeah.
So when schools reopened on Thursday, February 4th, Sandra didn't show up for work. So her coworkers called the Canton Police Department to do a welfare check. They walked into her apartment, and at first it seems like no one's there. There's nothing out of the ordinary. There's 2 cats. But then they go into her bedroom. Sandra was sitting on the floor up against her closet with a duffel bag strap wrapped around the closet doorknob, and the other end was around her neck. It was pulled so tightly that a forensic pathologist would say that she likely passed out in under 10 seconds and died within minutes.
Wow.
She was blue and had clearly been there for days.
Oh, shit.
It was determined to have happened on February 1st, that Monday that school closed, around 9:40 p.m., because that's the last time her phone health app recorded any movement. And her phone remained inactive until it eventually died, and then they found her in the welfare check. Again, that's unusual.
Yeah.
Even though they're confident that this is a suicide, there always has to be an investigation, obviously, especially with unattended deaths. Mm-hmm. So a detective sits down with the apartment property manager, whose name is Aaron Potter, and they go over security camera footage to retrace Sandra's final moments. At 5 p.m. the day she died, she's seen grabbing a DoorDash order from the lobby entrance. Then about 30 minutes later, she walks out with a snow brush and then walks back in a few minutes after that around 5:33 p.m. and goes back to her apartment. And that's the last anyone sees of her.
Okay.
In her apartment, there's no evidence of foul play, no sign of a struggle, no drag marks. She has no defensive wounds, nothing.
Yeah.
An autopsy determined that the cause of death was asphyxia due to hanging, and the manner of death was ruled a suicide.
Right.
The autopsy also confirmed that she was about 10 weeks pregnant.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Holy shit.
This was a surprise to detectives, the medical examiner, all of them, but not to her friends and family. They already knew she was pregnant, And that's why the suicide ruling didn't quite sit right with them. They said Sandra was amped to be a mom.
Yeah, I bet she was.
I know. Well, they said there's no way she killed herself. Plus, after her funeral, they went to clean out her apartment, and that further confirmed that she planned to live. In her apartment, there was a stroller, a car seat. She even arranged for someone to watch her 2 cats when she went into labor and set up an appointment with a newborn photographer, even though her due date was 7 months away.
Oh, wow. She was excited. She has no family. She was probably
excited.
Amped.
Yeah, very excited. They also noticed that she was in the middle of doing laundry when she died. There were wet clothes in the machine and in the dryer. If she was planning on killing herself, why even do laundry? Come on.
What are we doing chores for? Yeah.
Obviously, there's no note. So while there are no signs of a struggle, there's also no signs of a woman who was planning to kill herself.
Right.
Most concerning, though, they found her necklace that she wore every single day on the floor, and it was broken, not at the clasp, in the middle of the chain.
Oh.
That's weird AF.
That's weird.
And why did they not notice that?
That's a struggle.
Why did they not notice that? What else did they miss? We'll see. The property manager, Erin Porter, also felt weird about the suicide ruling. So she went back through the security footage to see if there's anything they missed. And she noticed a man walk in. He's tall, wearing a hoodie and a COVID mask, but she doesn't recognize him as a resident. He comes in at 9:14 p.m. and leaves 29 minutes later at 9:43 p.m. The detective spoke to about 20 people in Sandra's life. Some of them noted her tough childhood, her struggle with depression, especially after her mom and her great aunt died. But her friends were like, no. Talk to the father of her child. He's been demanding she get an abortion and threatening to take care of it himself if she didn't. They're like, great. Who's that? Hold on to your fucking hats, detectives. This dude was not only married with children, but he's a Stoughton police officer. And those aren't the reasons it's a secret. The biggest reason it's a secret is because the affair had been going on for almost 10 years. When Sandra was just 15 years old and this dude was 27, they met at the Explorers program. It's Matthew fucking Farwell.
That fucking asshole. That's when I added this story. And that's the last thing I know. That was the big bomb drop that I know.
Oh my God, hold on to your fucking hat.
To my wig.
Hold on to that wig.
I will. We come back from an ad break and my wig is disheveled because I'm just so shocked at the news.
Yeah. It's stuck to the ceiling because it flew up, popped right off.
That's right. What a dick.
Oh, You're about to get real pissed.
And a creep. Okay.
Investigators like, excuse me, what? That's interesting AF, because if she was 15 when it started, that's an easy charge for aggravated statutory rape, which is sexual intercourse, and there exists more than 10 years age difference between the defendant and his victim. And the victim is between the ages of 12 and 16 years old. So that's aggravate. That's what makes it aggravated.
Let's just go ahead and take that badge and gun away and send him right off to his cell.
Well, not so fast. As we know, police departments in this area have a reputation.
Yes, they do.
We all saw the Karen Reed trial. We've heard the story of cover-ups. And
cops always be copping.
They be copping hard up in this area.
Yeah.
A lot of the Canton police officers that we grew to hate during the Karen Reed trial were the responding officers to Sandra's welfare check. Just so you know.
Is that right?
And that was a year before John O'Keefe's death. They were the ones that found her and said, suicide, case closed.
No one look over here.
No one look over here, not here. Not all of them are bad. Disclaimer, I know that.
Of course.
But the Stoughton Police Department also has a long history of scandal and accusations. So we'll get into some of them. This seems to be a situation where this piece of shit's given a little too much grace for anyone's liking.
Ew, a child.
I know. First of all, they question him. So she was 23 when she died, but yes, this started when she was a child. They question him in the parking lot of an elementary school. They just meet him there. They don't record it. Throughout the report, they obviously have to take notes and do the report. Throughout the report, they call him Matt. Just a casual. They're friends.
No.
They're friends.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They ask him about his relationship with Sandra, and he admits that they did have sex, but it was only a couple of times. And even though he met her when she was a kid, their sexual relationship didn't start until 2020 when she was an adult. And even then, they only had sex 2 or 3 times, the last time being October 2020. So they're like, okay, well, there's security footage of a man about your size in the lobby of her apartment at the time we think she was murdered. And he says,
right.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I went over there to end the relationship and tell her that she's crazy. And we got into an argument. So I left. And when I left, she was standing in the kitchen, completely despondent. And then he threw in that she struggled with mental health issues. So she probably did kill herself. A former Boston police officer who now teaches criminal justice told the Globe that the fact that a married police officer admitted to having sex with a woman he met when she was a kid should have been an immediate red flag. And then he went on to say, quote, there are limits to how much courtesy should be extended to a fellow officer. This guy is creeping around the scene at the time she died. Why aren't we looking at him? And I mean a good hard look, not a conversation in a school parking lot that's not recorded.
That's the good guy. That's a good cop right there.
That's a good apple. That's a good apple.
Mm-hmm. But it's just, duh. Like, yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it? It's crazy.
You would think, but I'm not done, unfortunately.
Occupation aside, it baffles me that grown men who are probably also married with kids hear this about their colleague. I know there's a special bond with cops, but let's call it spade a spade. They hear that they've been having sex with this girl again that he met when she was 15, even if it only started when whatever 20, whatever. I would be so grossed out by that. I'm like, yeah, but you mentored her. Like you don't you see her as a 15-year-old. You occupation aside. That's what I'm like. Yeah. Why do you have each other's backs this hard? Like this is disgusting. Don't you feel that?
Yeah, especially when all the information starts coming out. So,
like they have some moral compass. They went into the force.
Sure.
That is, it always baffles me. I'm like, wow, y'all are ride or die with each other, but like way too extreme. What's going on?
I know.
Don't you, as a father, dad, just husband, aren't you like, oh, gross, I want nothing. At least I want nothing to do with you. Don't help them.
You took an oath. It's like when nurses are found, like, secretly killing their patient or taking a patient's baby. I'm like, God, you're supposed to be the good ones. Yeah. Most of you are. Most are. But there's some stories out there that I'm like, Jesus.
Right. And there are great cops out there. Look, we've said
obviously.
It just baffles me with the bad ones. I'm like, what is
what happened there, bud?
You and your accomplices.
Yeah. So Matthew is put on paid leave pending an internal affairs investigation by both Stoughton police and state police.
Vacation.
Oh my God, you have no idea. At first, paid, I know, indefinitely. And it goes on for a while and he makes bank for sitting on his ass.
I'm sure he does.
At first, he's cooperative. They ask him to turn over his personal cell phone, which he does, telling them that he has deleted the text with Sandra because he's married. And they're like, yeah, we figured. Later that day, he seems to have second thoughts about being so cooperative because he uses his police department issued phone and Googles, can deleted iMessage be recovered by Cellbrite, which Cellbrite's the tool they use to get cell data. Mm-hmm. And then he deleted that. And then he Googled and then deleted, can you revoke consent in Massachusetts? Because he's like, fuck, I signed a consent form for them to go through my cell phone. Well, again, both those questions were deleted, but the answers are yes, Cellbrite can recover deleted messages, and no, you cannot revoke consent. Thank you.
Yep, that's why you have to sign in ink, and it's not in pencil. No takesies, backsies.
He immediately starts trying to erase it with a pen. With a pen, though, because he's a dipshit. Investigators spend months and months going through his phone, Sandra's phone, her computer, which, by the way, the password on her computer was a variation of Matthew's name. She was like, She was all
She thought she
in.
loved him. Oh,
Yeah.
man. It's tough.
They recovered nearly 33,000 messages between them. And that's just in the 14 months leading up to her death.
What's average? Give me an average of a 23-year-old girl.
Oh, God, I don't know. I can't do that right now.
Man, I know.
What they learn, holy shit. Okay, this is one text from 2019. Sandra says, I had butterflies so bad the day you took my virginity. He says, me too. It was such a big day. She says, I still know the date to this day. He says, really? Yes. He sends a smiley emoji. She said, that's not a date I'll ever forget. It was April 10th, 2013. He sends another smiley face. She said, that was the best day of my life. He says, me too. Here's the thing.
That's
again,
not 2020. That's not 2020. Oh my God.
That exchange was in 2019 when she was 22, but she date stamped it. And it says that they first had sex April 10th, 2013, confirming she was 15 years old at that point and he was 27. And it has been going on for 8 years. Disgusting.
A vulnerable child who's going through so much. And you are, God, what the fuck? Okay.
I have more texts. Don't pop off yet. It gets worse. Some of the other texts include Matthew telling her that he would have, quote, fucked her when they first met in 2012 when she was 14. Another text talks about role playing, and Matthew asks how old Sandra is going to pretend to be, and she responds 14, and he sends back a smiley face. A few months after that, in 2020, they talk about role playing again, and Matthew says he wants to pin her down, and he'd like for her to say, Matt, stop. I'm only 13. I'm not ready for this. Please stop.
No fucking way.
He requests that.
Oh, what is going on in your head? Ew.
I mean, there's all in all, there were about 20 messages from Matthew discussing his rape fantasies and pinning her down by the neck and choking her and raping her. Even an incest fantasy where he wants to pretend to be her older brother. What the fuck?
Go through that childhood again of his? What the fuck is happening? Not even a rape fantasy, choke out fantasy, whatever your kink is. He specifically requests that she act like she's 13.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is
sick.
Horrifying. That there are no words for that. Ew.
I know. Texts also reveal how controlling and jealous Matthew got over the years. And one, he reprimanded her for turning off her location and said she better turn it back on to, quote, gain back his trust for her alleged lies and infidelity. I'm like, you're married.
Oh no.
Like, cause she did. She had a boyfriend. She dated William in college for a little bit, but like this had to be a secret.
Stoughton PD looks like we've hired a monster.
It's not good.
Not good.
They go through Sandra's journal that she kept from 2013 to 2020, where she details, even at 15, 16 years old, her sexual encounters with Matthew, saying that he introduced the idea of choking her when she was around 16, and he used rough sex to punish her for bad grades.
Wait. Okay. I'm speechless with that one. I have no idea. No words. The fuck out of here.
I know it. Lastly, texts revealed that Matthew and Sandra would often meet up for sex in his patrol car while he was on duty. So not only can they get him for aggravated statutory rape, but with that, they can also charge him with larceny, because if he was meeting her for sex while he was on the clock, he was stealing from taxpayers. Which is interesting. So they're like, oh, that's larceny.
Yeah.
We pay your paycheck, motherfucker. You're not serving protecting. You're having sex. You lied about
You're raping a child. Get out of here.
Yep. Yeah. Then the communication between them in the months leading up to her death starts getting hostile.
If that wasn't already hostile enough, you better turn your location on or
I know.
Whatever.
Okay. No, but in the very recent months, it gets hostile. So in October 2020, Sandra found out that Matthew's wife, Michelle, was pregnant with their third kid. And she was almost in her third trimester. So Sandra was pissed.
Oh, God. Yeah.
She threatened to tell his wife everything. She even drafted a text saying, your husband has been cheating on you throughout your marriage and before. They had sex before he was married for the first time.
Oh, wow.
He was just dating her at that point. It's crazy. Oh. She drafted it. She never sent it. And Sandra especially took this news hard, obviously because she thought she was in love with this man and now he's having a child with his wife. But she longed for her own baby
Yeah.
because even though she was only 23 years old at this point, she had a miscarriage a few months earlier. And ever since then, she was longing to be a mother. So upon realizing that Matthew got his wife pregnant, Sandra gives him an ultimatum. She said they would start having unprotected sex to conceive their own baby. Otherwise, she would tell his wife everything.
Oh.
And what a turn of events for this creep. The young child you groomed is no longer a child. She's an adult with a shitload of leverage.
Oh my God. Yes, she is.
She could destroy this piece of shit. And so he agrees. Table's turning.
The shoe is on the other foot, and she is a hard ass.
Yep. Well, lo and behold, right after Christmas in 2020, Matthew gets a picture from Sandra. It's a handmade sign that says, "Congrats, we're going to be parents, 2021. She had just found out she was pregnant, and he gets that text and responds, "I literally have nothing to say right now." He's pissed. He says, "How far are you?" And she said, "Regardless of how far, we're keeping it, but 3.5 weeks." And then she says, "Which means I conceived this month." He says, "Okay, we're going to need to talk then." And she said, "No shit, that's obvious." The texts between them continue with Sandra saying that she's going to need him to be a father to this kid too, because he's important, or he or she is important too. He will be at the delivery and he will sign the birth certificate.
Oh.
Even if this is your little secret, you fucking piece of shit, you're going to be a dad to this kid too. And he responds, "You are truly the worst person on the face of the earth." That's what he says. And my reiteration of that was not verbatim. That's when the screenshot went away, but that was the summary of it. She said, "You're going to sign the birth certificate. You're going to be at the delivery. You're going to be a father to this kid too." She's
ride.
bad.
She's like,
yeah,
I'm no nonsense.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly. She has
The
upper hand.
Taking control away from this guy is going to be problematic, as we've learned from the crime scene. Fuck.
Yeah. A friend of Sandra's said that Matthew was demanding that she get an abortion, like I said, which she said absolutely not. He told her that he wished she was dead. She should just kill herself. I mean, he was pissed. She texted a friend in January 2021 saying that he was starting to get physical. He even shoved her when she showed him a sonogram picture of the baby. And actually, a few friends told cops about this. I think 3 other people came forward and said, "Yeah, she told me that too."
Okay, Sandra, let's ditch this loser. Let's just raise the baby on our own.
Sandra even started compromising, though. She did. Listen, this girl has been a victim. She has been groomed since she was young.
Yeah.
She was vulnerable. We'll get into that. But she does start compromising, saying, quote, "You don't have to sign the birth certificate, but I do want them to have your last name. I will not move to Stoughton." Again, she lives in Canton. It's very close to each other.
Yeah.
But he lives in Stoughton with his family. So she's like, "I'm not going to put our kid in an elementary school with your last name and fuck your life up." She said, "I won't bitch about the holidays. I just want you to see the kid and not leave them out of your life." That's what she said. To which he responds, "It's a lot to think about. It's so much more than you've ever asked for." And Sandra replies, "Yeah, it's still less than any other girl would ask for." And she's got a point.
That's right. But he agreed to these terms. Like, we will be having unprotected sex, like, as an effort to get pregnant, like to get me pregnant. And he said, "Okay, just don't tell my wife." What did he think was going to happen? She's 23 years old. She's fertile.
I know.
She's in the prime of her life.
There are, within the text, there's some fighting about this where he says, "I said we could have unprotected sex once." That was, I think, in October 2020. And that was right after she found out that his wife was pregnant. And upon learning that it didn't work, she was like, "Well, no, we're going to do it again." She talked him into it. I don't know if he just thought it was going to be so infrequent that it wouldn't work. Like, it would just like ward her off from telling his wife for a little bit longer. He didn't. But then when she actually gets pregnant, he's like, "You trapped me. This was all whatever the fuck.
You're a loser. Sir, you did this. You groomed me."
Yeah. Yep.
You started this relationship. So
right.
Fuck you. This is why he only deals with kids. She's about to age out and he just wants a 13-year-old because he is repulsive.
And by the way, in one of the texts from like way before this, he talks about how he wished they fucked without a condom when she was 14. So Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Shut the
probably
fuck
because it's
up.
before she started her period, so he knows that she can't get pregnant.
Ugh,
Ugh.
sick. Anyway, yeah, see, so he did agree to it. I guess he thought it never would actually happen, and it did.
And it did, because she's 23 years old.
On January 20th, 2021, a little more than a week before her murder, a friend of Sandra's called the Stoughton Police Department and reported that Sandra owed her $248 and has not paid. When they informed her, whoever picked up the phone informed her that that's a civil matter, not a criminal one, like our cops aren't going to do anything about that, the friend got pissed and blurted out that one of their officers, Matthew Farwell, is having sex with Sandra.
What year was that?
That was a week before her murder.
Oh, shit.
So her friend called to report Sandra for allegedly owing her $248 and then abruptly just blurted out, hey, one of your cops having sex with Sandra.
Ooh.
The person who took the call was like, okay, thanks, bye. And she went and told Matthew what just happened. Matthew got furious and told her not to speak about that to anyone ever again, the person who answered the phone. And then he immediately rage texted Sandra this.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, your fucking friend called my work, Sandra. What the fuck? Sandra sends back a question mark. He says, you also told me that no one knew. There's some like breaks in this text where there's like, clearly they had to cut some of it out. But I think I read the FBI transcript of this after her question mark. I think she's like, I just woke up. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
He says, you also told me that no one knew about us, yet she claims that we're fucking. He is such a dipshit. The way he Googles and texts, it's really hard to read. So if you hear me stumbling, it's because I'm reading the text of
dipshit's text.
Illiterate dipshit.
Okay. Well,
she says it's literally nothing. He said, it's not nothing. She called my job. That's insane. No punctuation in anything. Like, you have no idea how bad what she did is. I literally can't believe that this is even real life. What else do you have? What else do I have to worry about now? Which other friend will do something tomorrow? God, I can't fucking read the way he writes. Mm-hmm. See, he was under the impression that their relationship was secret for all 8 years. To him, it was. But Sandra told a lot of people about it.
Because she's 15 years old. Exactly. This guy is a dipshit. What makes you think that a 15-year-old who thinks she's in love with this guy in his 20s is going to keep a secret from her friend? Come on. This is on you. It's misdirected blame. It's crazy. She is the victim. You're the monster and a dipshit. And what else do I have to worry about? You have to worry about raping kids in the future. Yeah. That's what you have to worry about. Grooming. Piece of shit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
When you rape kids, you have to worry all the time about everything. What do you mean? What now do I have to worry about putting on Sandra? Fuck off.
I know. It's just not panning out the way you wanted it, you predator. And unfortunately, there's only one person to blame for that, and that's you.
Right.
Even when she was in the Explorers program at the beginning, other kids were like, wait, she like said, we have a thing going, me and Officer Farwell. I mean, we're talking, we're meeting up. And the kids then were like, you're only 15. Like, that can't be right. But they never told anyone because they didn't know if it was true, if she was just talking, or who are they going to tell? It's an adult cop versus a kid who heard it from another kid who's was known to struggle and like they're like, the adults were in on it. We're not fucking doing that.
Right. It would be easily written off as, oh, she has a schoolgirl crush and her imagination's getting the best of her. No, we're not dating. That's crazy.
Right. Exactly. So it was very much known in her circle. And I honestly can't believe her friend did that, but great. Report it any way you can. But the person who answered did not report it.
No.
Obviously. So he was pissed. He sends her that text. But after a few days, he calmed down. They had a heart to heart, and he seemed to do a complete 180. He was coming around about the pregnancy. He was bringing her like ginger ale. He asked for a key to her apartment, which she offered him before, but he said it wasn't a good idea, but now he wants one. It seems like he's planning to be involved, and she is amped.
Oh, Sandra.
About a week later, on Monday, February 1st, 2021, just after 9 p.m., Matthew texted Sandra asking if he could stop by her apartment for a minute. Sandra said, sure. A few minutes later, the apartment security camera shows him walking in. 29 minutes later, he walks out and goes straight to the hospital where his wife is in labor with their third son. His son was born the next morning, 12 hours later.
Oh my God.
Sandra was left dead in her apartment at 9:40 p.m. and he walked out and went to the hospital. There is a picture of him holding his baby with a COVID mask.
Wow. What an asshole.
Mm-hmm. He also, which this is neither here nor there, but the fact that he walked in her lobby with a COVID mask, he denounced COVID more than anyone. He only wore one on, like when he was working because it was required.
Anti-mask.
He would never wear a mask unless he had to. And he walked in wearing one. I'm like, okay, this was premeditated. Right. I'm telling you.
100%.
So with all of this evidence, they know that Matthew not only lied to them about their relationship, he said it started in 2020. They only had sex 2 or 3 times. Clearly false.
Yeah.
Plus he has a motive, a secret affair that leads to pregnancy. And she's threatening to tell his wife. Oh, and he was at the apartment right at the time she died. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. Where are the cuffs? Let's go.
This is damning. Wouldn't you say?
Nah.
Yet,
circumstantial.
This is still being investigated as police misconduct, not murder. It was ruled a suicide. It was a suicide.
Uh-huh.
Early on, they asked him for his DNA, which he obviously said no, which given the amount of evidence, they could have gotten a court order or surveilled him and just gotten it involuntarily, but they don't.
They're not doing any of that. Yeah.
They're not doing that. They got a lot of heat over stuff like this. Like they are investigating him, but it's not as intense as
bare minimum.
It should be.
Sure.
A lot of people are like, if that were a civilian, wouldn't you be following him to McDonald's and grabbing a cup out of the trash can? Of course you would.
Of course.
Because of the sheer volume of her cell phone and computer data, these messages took months to go through. Mm-hmm. And over a year after her death in April 2022, Matthew is still on paid leave. He had collected $89,000 for doing absolutely nothing.
Oh,
and finally, he resigned from the police department right before he was supposed to sit down with the internal affairs investigator about their findings because he's a little bitch.
He is a bitch. God.
They sit down with his twin brother, William, who tells him, yes, I knew about Matthew and Sandra's relationship. I knew she was pregnant with his
out of here
baby.
Too. God.
And they're like, yeah, we've been going through all the digital evidence. Speaking of, do you have anything you want to tell us, William?
Oh, shit.
In addition to all the texts between Matthew and Sandra, investigators found some between William and Sandra that were very sexually graphic. William admitted that, yes, he was also having sex with Sandra.
Oh, my God. Y'all are both the rapiest twins. Gross.
Even as recently as 22 days before she died. He knew she was pregnant with Matthew's baby, and he had sex with her. They are fucking sick. There were a lot of messages where William encouraged Sandra to secretly film herself having sex with someone else and send it to him, which is a crime in Massachusetts, as it should be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she ever did that, which, by the way, I'm like, she's having sex with her twin brother.
Right.
Is that what you want to see?
The video is going to be of him.
The other one likes incest. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So
God, I really need a summary of their childhood again. What happened?
I know.
Sounded normal.
I don't think she ever did it, but he did. He sent her pictures and video of him having sex with his wife. I hate these two. These twins.
God.
Not Sandra. Sandra's very much a victim. And just an expert chimed in on this saying, because she's so young when she was groomed, she was programmed by these monsters to think that this is normal. So it's very common for victims like this to go on and have consensual sex with these disgusting predators, because she was raised to think that's normal. I mean, they took a vulnerable girl.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tale as old as time with these damn stories. So again, no shame to Sandra, all shame to these fuckers.
Right.
So now William is looped into the internal affairs investigation and he's placed on paid leave. But a few months later, he resigns and he and his wife immediately moved to Maryland. So then they talked to Robert Devine, who was running the Explorers program at the time Sandra was in it. They asked if he knew about the relationship between Matthew and Sandra. He said he only found out after Matthew was placed on leave. Then he took it back and said he knew a little bit before that, but it was two consenting adults. Like, yeah, Matthew was cheating on his wife, but like, I'm staying out of that. He didn't know that it started like with the Explorers program.
He genuinely didn't know.
Well, they told him that they hadn't found any communication between he and Sandra, to which he snapped back and said, "You won't find any either." This was a heated interview, as you can imagine.
Don't get mad at us. You can see how we be doubtful given your employees.
Right. So the ones that you shaped, like they were the mentors. So he's like, yeah, and you're not going to find any either. All gruff and not lovable.
A Boston PD deputy? No, stop it.
They say, well, yeah, we didn't find any between you. We did find some Facebook messages between Sandra and an alias account, and that alias account has been connected to you.
Shut the fuck up.
For those interested, his alias account was under the name Marty Riggs, who was a police officer in the movie Lethal Weapon. Facebook messages showed that Robert Devine contact as Marty Riggs, and she knew that this was his fake profile, so it could never be linked to him. Oh, please. It showed that Robert Devine contacted Sandra for sex in 2020 while he was on duty. I didn't get a clear picture on if this actually happened, but another source in later reading said it did. A judge ruled that it did happen.
How did these rapists find each other? And then they're like, let's go to the police academy. And I just... So he mentored the twins.
Yep.
So he shaped them. So he was king rapey. Yeah. And then he mentored junior rapists to become king rapists.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, yes, exactly.
That's the program. So that's the program.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I have some stories.
Okay. By the way, I know that's not really the program. I know that there are good programs out there for the people who want to be cops as kids.
Oh, that program's gone. So don't worry about that.
Okay, then I can talk as much shit as I want.
Please. I'm sure there are great youth police programs, but this is not one of them. It showed that there were a ton of messages between them on Facebook. Again, I don't know if the 2020 meetup happened. Later, someone else said it did, but it said a judge ruled that it did. So it must have. Anyway, there were a bunch of messages between them on Facebook with this fake Marty Riggs page. And a friend did say she was constantly messaging this Marty Riggs guy on Facebook. The friend did not know who it was. Now we know. Mm-hmm. They'd been messaging for years.
But she knew, right?
She knew. Oh, yeah. No, okay. She knew.
Yeah.
And it was even as recent as they messaged about meeting up at a local restaurant like weeks before she died.
Oh, so they did meet up to have sex.
Well, yeah.
I just talked about it.
So in 2020, while he was on duty, one of the messages came while he was on duty to meet up for sex. That's where I'm unclear if they actually did. Okay. The police affidavit said one of the affidavits said that he contacted her for sex. It never said if it happened, but then in a later source, a judge ruled that it did happen and it's being investigated.
Okay.
So we don't know.
When you said that before, that the judge ruled, I thought you meant that the Facebook message actually happened. You're saying that he ruled that the sex actually happened.
There were sexual encounters post 2020 and beyond. So definitely while she was an adult, but still gross. And they had met up as recently at a local restaurant as recently as like a few weeks before her death. So they had been talking for years outside the program. Ugh. So you creepy ass old man just lied, saying he never socialized with her, never spoke to her outside of, the program. You were messaging her and now you're being investigated and he's also placed on leave.
Paid vacation.
Of course.
Okay.
Mind you, at one point he was deputy chief, that's second in command to the whole department, but he was demoted in 2016 to patrolman after another scandal. And I'm just going to give you a quick summary of this.
Okay.
Because it's just worth noting.
Yeah.
In 2014, he was having an affair with a local woman, which he claims started after he and his wife separated. But when the woman threatened to expose the affair, he got a court order to prevent her from contacting him. After that, he started getting anonymous harassing messages, which he then turned over to state police, who arrested the woman because she was violating her no contact order.
Yeah.
But while investigating her, they realized that Robert was still sleeping with her. They were still in a relationship.
Get out of here.
So it was determined that he improperly used his power to address a personal matter. And a lot of people wanted him fired for this. But in 2016, he was placed on a 60-day unpaid leave. He was suspended. And then when he got back to work, he was demoted to the department's lowest rank. He was second in command. Now he's a patrol officer.
Stopping traffic.
Yeah. Now he's like directing traffic.
Yeah.
He was on his way to be the chief of police, and he's putting on white gloves.
His power. Yeah, of course.
And standing in busy intersections.
Right.
That sounds demeaning. That actually did. I don't mean to demean it. I just love the fall from grace for this piece of shit.
Right.
So yeah, he was like
a stoplight does, but that's okay.
Using his ability to like get this woman in trouble. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's the one, he's violating the order. Like, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so he sucks. And in August 2022, after about 4 months of being on paid leave for the investigation into his relationship with Sandra, Robert Devine retired from the police department.
Of course.
Of course. About a month after his retirement, in September 2022, the Internal Affairs report was released to the public. And Stoughton Chief of Police, Donna McNamara, who seems like a good one. She's a good one.
Okay. Let's go, Donna.
She had a press conference saying that the Farwell brothers and Robert Devine are all pieces of shit that should be publicly castrated. And she didn't really say that.
Oh, she didn't?
She didn't say it. She said they violated their oaths and should never have been able to serve any community and shouldn't ever again. She went on to say that Sandra was, quote, a very vulnerable person who idolized police and military members, and she was failed by, manipulated by, and used by people of authority that she admired and trusted right up until her final days. And that is the truth.
That is the truth. Get it, Donna?
An attorney for the family would later add that they passed her around like a toy. And I'm like, that's exactly what they did.
That is.
Yes, they did.
They're a disgrace.
With this going public, another former Explorer member named Ashley Bell came forward with her own story about Robert Devine, and I have to tell you this.
Okay.
It's, oh my God.
This, I know nothing. Go.
In 2002, Ashley Bell was 12 years old when she enrolled in the Explorers program, which at the time was being run by a 30-year-old Robert Devine. Ashley and other kids who went through the program made it seem like Robert loved showing off for the kids. He loved being admired by them. He basked in the attention, especially from girls. So Ashley developed a little crush on him, which, I mean, it's common.
Fine.
Come on.
Yeah, it's common. Great.
And one day at the program, she found out he was engaged and she started crying.
Oh.
Seeing her heartbreak over this, Robert led her to a storage closet, nothing happens, sat her down on a desk and said to her, quote, "You're a knockout. When you're 18, we're going to go out together. I'm going to take you on a date." Then he kissed her forehead. I said nothing happened. Yes, obviously this is very inappropriate.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's not raped is what I was telling you. He kissed her forehead, gave her a very long hug, and then they walked out of the closet. Oddly enough, she walked outside still crying, and Matthew Farwell was there to give her another long hug. This was when the Farwell brothers were in the program. They were in high school at this point.
This is insane.
Oddly enough, he was standing there to comfort her. He was, I think, 16 at that point. But Ashley felt like Robert didn't fully close the door on her crush. Like he flirts. There's a lot of talk of him flirting with kids. It's disgusting.
Gross. Yeah.
So she felt like this door was still a little bit open. So she wrote him a love letter and gave it to a dispatcher at the station to pass along, which the dispatcher did. But right afterwards, I don't know what the note said, but it's just.
But again, maybe the dispatcher was like, "Oh, she has a schoolgirl crush."
I know, but
so she probably's like, I'll give her a little love letter." Whatever.
Sure, and maybe she passed along, being like, "This is like so sweet and innocent," but like to tell her like, "Don't." You got to sit down and talk to this kid.
Yeah,
I don't know, but he got the letter. But right afterwards, Ashley's mom, Jen, overheard Ashley talking to a friend about Robert and the letter she wrote to him. And she said, oh, hell no.
Get it.
Jen, this is why I want to tell you this. Jen marched right down to the police station, stormed into Robert's office, yelling, where the fuck is, damn it, I can't do an accent.
Where's, you got it.
Where's
the,
okay. Where's the fucking letter? How about that? Where's the fucking letter? Right.
I cannot believe you weren't going to do an accent.
Oh my God, I don't know why. It really is coming out in me. Was it good? Bostonites, how was it? Where's the fucking letter? She does that. That's a quote.
Wow. Jen, do not fuck with Jen.
Oh, so Robert
shits his pants. He wipes himself, and then what happened?
Pants. And he says, I have no idea what you're talking about. But then Jen spots a crumpled piece of paper in the trash can. They both lunge for it. Jen, of course, wins, gets it, uncrumples it, recognizes Ashley's handwriting, and said this. I can't do it. Let me tell you something. You go near my kid again, I'm going to shoot you with your own gun. Is that good? That's what she said. Let me tell you something. You go near my kid again, I'm going to shoot you with your own gun. That is what she said. Translate into a Boston accent.
She is everything to me. Jen, come on the show.
Jen,
come on the show.
You did everything right. No notes.
No notes. You're perfect. I am sweating with joy. I mean, wow. Took my coat off for Jen.
That would be the end of Ashley's time with the Explorers program. And as an adult, she makes it clear nothing physical ever happened. But she is sickened that Robert let her carry on with this 12-year-old fantasy rather than telling her it was inappropriate. And she's right. There's a 12-year-old in that scenario and a 30-year-old. The adult should have known right from wrong.
Right. Had Jen not stepped in, something definitely would have happened.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So this guy has a history of being a creep. But all of this information is coming out, and it's still the consensus that she died by suicide. Headlines say three police officers have inappropriate sexual relationship with a young woman who later killed herself. Those are headlines. And her friends and the family are like, no.
What?
That's not true. There's signs everywhere being like justice, pictures everywhere of these three assholes. Finally, in 2024, the FBI stepped in.
Oh, God. Well, we'll take it from here. This is ridiculous. This is silly.
Ridiculous. Again, the Stoughton chief of police, Donna McNamara, does seem...
Rocks. Yeah.
She was like pushing for more investigation. So the FBI stepped in. They say,
why can't she grant that?
She does. So her deputy chief, Brian Holmes, is also doing the investigation.
Okay.
And there was some information of like once a medical examiner rules something, the manner of death, it's very hard to fight it. It's especially hard to fight it when the people doing the investigation don't want to fight it. She's at the top. I think she was pushing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
There's,
yeah.
At this point, there's 3 agencies.
Even from the top,
involved.
you kind of, there are process in place where she can't probably step in on every little thing. But it just baffles me that because you have a badge, you are ride or die with your colleague no matter what till the end. Otherwise, I assume it's like a reputational thing. Cops protect cops for reputation.
Right.
But then when this happens, I'm like, wouldn't have been so honorable if you're like, oh, I saw that one. I found out they had sex once and I reported it immediately. Whatever. I'm like, I just talk about a reputation misfire. This is horrifying.
Oh, I know. Well, and people get worried about job security. There's a million reasons why they don't come forward. But whatever, I agree. Why do you want these people?
Where's the line?
I know.
This is a child, and now she's dead. A vulnerable child turned adult, got impregnated and murdered. Where's the line?
Right.
Stop backing these assholes.
I know. And I'm just doing one more disclaimer. Literally listen until my last sentence.
Okay.
Finally, again, 2024, FBI steps in. They say, let's have an independent forensics experts, have two, go back through the autopsy and make their own conclusion. So they enlisted the help of Dr. William Smock and Dr. Michael Baden or Baden.
Baden. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. I was about to say they better have gotten Baden on here.
Wait, where's he? Smock is like from, I think, Louisville, like, so completely detached, unbiased. We don't care about this piece of shit, whatever. We'll screw him. Wait, wow. Who's Baden? What else
He actually makes an appearance in my next bonus story. But he was also in my Coleman Family Murders. He was the witness expert there. He's actually kind of controversial. He is very good at pinpointing a time of death, but it's a little controversial. He always goes up against whatever anyone says. He did JFK's assassination. He did Jeffrey Epstein's. He's the real deal. He's the real deal.
And so what does he think about Epstein? Actually, very similar findings, probably.
Yeah,
because the bone breakage and Epstein's neck. Release the files.
Release the files. Anyway. But yeah, you can see him. There's like a very old footage of him and JFK's running through JFK's. The bullet went in right here and went out right there. Blah 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 with this little pinpointer in court. And he's a young buff, but now he's getting up there.
We're talking 2024 at this point. He's still going at 158 years old. Mm-hmm. But good for you, Baden, because you've rocked it. Because Dr. Smock and Baden, determined that the bone fractures in her neck were typical of a hanging, but not what they call an incomplete hanging, which is a hanging where the person is sitting down, which she was. Those bones fracture when the ligature is holding the full weight of the body, like your feet are off the ground.
Yeah.
Also, there was a buckle imprint from the and y'all, sorry, maybe I should have trigger warned this. It's if hanging is a thing for you.
Yeah.
I mean, what I just said is probably the most graphic, but I know that can really hurt people. There's a buckle imprint from the strap that was around her neck on her chest. Yeah, when she was found, the buckle was on her neck. So the chest imprint, like it looks like a blunt force. It was left so forcefully that it imprinted on her chest, which why would she do? It would be really hard for her to do that to herself.
Yeah.
But and why would you do that to yourself? Even if you're suicidal, that's not going to do it.
Right.
So what?
Right. Yeah.
Lastly, there's other things like her necklace was on at the time. Her hair was in the ligature. Just historically, women, if they're going to do that, they like move everything out of the way.
Yeah.
Little things. But lastly, the main thing, she had marks on the skin of her nose, consistent with suffocation when a victim's moving their head back and forth, trying to breathe.
Oh,
so I guess like picture someone with their hand over your mouth and you're trying to get around their hand so you can breathe through your nose. Like her bottom of her nose was like rubbed raw. Which is very consistent with that move.
Yeah.
And so with all that and the broken necklace, they were like, these are signs of a struggle.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And they conclude with medical and scientific certainty that the manner of death was actually homicide, and they change it.
There you go.
There it is. Both Farwell brothers and Robert Devine were decertified, obviously. And Matthew is finally arrested on August 28th, 2024, and charged with killing a witness to prevent her from disclosing information on his federal crimes.
You know, that's exactly 1 year ago today. August 28th, 2024.
From the day this airs?
Yeah.
Shut up. That's right. Wow. There's a wire fraud charge in there because of the lying to taxpayers. He was accepting his paychecks when he wasn't even on the clock. He shouldn't have been.
Right.
You know? So throw that on there. Fine.
That's perfect.
This could come with a death sentence. They haven't determined it yet, but at bare minimum, it's life in prison. Here's what I want. This is not my last sentence. This is the second bomb drop. I mean, the 18th bomb drop. In June 2025.
Oh, shit.
2 months ago. One last twist. DNA results showed that Matthew was not the father of the unborn baby.
What?
Can you believe that? They are not saying who it is. They're not saying it yet. No, they don't know. They're not saying that part yet. Some people think this could mess up the prosecution's case, but I fully disagree. Bottom line is he thought he was.
Yeah. What?
That's
And
his
there's
motive.
digital evidence to back that up tenfold. What?
Yeah.
You get doesn't matter.
Yeah. So that her family saying that paternity does not matter. He thought he was.
And he murdered her.
He murdered her over
Right.
it. He is not the father.
Holy
How
shit, man.
insane is that?
Wow. I remember these breaking news like back in 2021 esque, I think.
Yeah.
That is brand new information. Wow.
I mean, literally as of mid-June of this year. A trial date has not been set yet. He was supposed to have a hearing on August 4th, 3 weeks ago, but I can't find anything on it. And that was a hearing that was delayed from May. So I think it got pushed back again.
Yeah. Yeah.
William Farwell and Robert Devine have not been charged with anything except by the court of public opinion. And in that, they're both guilty of being absolute disgusting fucking creeps and predators, guilty on all counts.
Yeah.
But there is still an ongoing investigation. They're not releasing, again, DNA about who the father is. It is batshit. I cannot wait for that trial to start. Again, no date. We don't know.
That's going to be a big one.
That's going to be a big one. Oh, especially after Karen Reed is going to be like, wait, let's go back through all
shit, yeah.
The workings of these departments and the internal affairs, to say the least. Jesus.
I cannot believe it. Sandra.
I know. Victim. Again, if the twin is the father, I cannot believe that.
My mind is blown.
A victim, very common. She was programmed to think like they saw her, said she has no immediate family, really. She has an ailing mother.
Yeah.
A great aunt with also not great health. Some cousins.
She has no one. Here's someone we can take advantage of.
Here it is. Who's going to, no one's looking after her. So let's go for it.
Rape her.
Sick.
Oh, it's repulsive.
Such a piece of shit. So we'll stick around for that trial for sure. Yeah. Unbelievable. Disgusting. Poor Sandra. Custom shout out from Ryan. My custom shout out goes to my badass friend Anna, who I'm so proud of. She is a massive fan of your podcast and always listens to it while she walks around with her double stroller. Jesus, I can't talk. I'm sorry. Because she has a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Nice.
Been there. Love that. She was worried she'd never have time to continue her passion for writing. She was worried she'd never have time to continue her passion of writing crime fiction when she had her babies. But not only did she finish her novel, but it's just been published with Penguin. Wait, this is awesome.
That's awesome.
It's called The Ones We Love. And I was literally awake until 3 a.m. last night finishing it. It's about a mother who becomes ruthless. Oh, she's like, Jen. A mother who becomes ruthless as she covers up a crime for her 21-year-old daughter. Not like Jen.
Was Jen your muse, but the opposite?
She's covering up for her 21-year-old daughter who keeps disappearing in the middle of the night. It's about a family and secrets and how far they'll go to protect people we love. Oh my God, the plot twist is epic. Wait.
That sounds insane.
That sounds so good.
Great.
There were so many times Anna said she didn't think she'd get her book finished, but she did it. Congrats, Mama. Everyone go buy the Ones We Love. Sorry.
Congrats.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Incredible. The 1 and 3-year-old. My God.
Wow. That is crazy. How you getting up at like 4?
What?
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. 3.
Yeah.
What? What's your Adderall prescription?
How you doing that? Go Anna. So proud of you.
Yeah, go Anna.
And go patrons. Here's who I'm looking at. Erica, Paige, Laura, Hillary, Amy, Jackie, Kelly, Rachel, Michelle, Shayna, Gavant. It looks like a screen name. Like 13,
Yeah.
You know who you are. Jillian, Gentry, Nadia, Shay, Laura, Kristen, Darcy, Ella, Allison, Kelsey, Diana, Lauren, Heather, Nancy, Vanessa, KTV, Anna, Hannah, Tasha, Lonnie, Kiva, Amber, Jasmine, Kendall, Dr. Charlie, Jordan, Jasmine. I just had to say the whole thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Jasmine, Lindsay, Amy, Michelle. Y'all.
Wow. Thank you.
That was
so
a lot.
much.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all are the best.
People are the worst.
Those Farwell brothers and Robert Devine are like actually the absolute worst.